Hi, welcome back. I hope you have been practicing. Lesson 3 is about basic editing and trimming tools. Make sure you have downloaded the Lesson 3 folder. Today, I'm going to focus on a few things: Selection tool, Ripper Edit tool, Rolling Edit tool, Rate Stretch tool, Cut on Action, and Film Continuity. These are some very useful tools and techniques that you will be using for your CAs. Let's start with a new project named as Lesson 3. Save under Lesson 3 folder. Import the folders. Create a new sequence. Select the high definition preset. Let's expand the folder to see what is the content inside. Always take note of the original footage resolution. They are all shot at 1920 by 1080. There's a sample video here. Let's watch the sample video.
Usually youths are the ones who are unmotivated to learn their mother tongue language, so we hope to direct our game to them.
I hope the sample video gives you an overview of how to assemble the 4 original footages into a short 14 seconds video. While there are many different ways of starting a project, I'll just show you the good practices. Drag and drop the audio to track 2. Next, I would start to do a rough mark-in, mark-out of all the footages so that I can bring them to the timeline for further editing. To do a rough cut of mark-in and mark-out, double-click on the footages, scrub through the playhead, define the in point, go to the mark in button, or you can use the shortcut key I to mark in. Define the out point, go to the markup button, or press O for the out point, and then drag the footage to the timeline. We'll repeat the next 3 footages. Once it's done, click on the timeline. You'll notice that the clip display is rather short. In order to see clearly, you can press a shortcut key plus to expand the display. Or you can press minus shortcut key to collapse the display. What I'll do now is I'll shorten the audio clip. And I would like to fit all these clips to the timeline display by pressing the backslash key below the delete key. First and foremost, before you start editing, remember the video clips looks a little bit zoomed in. So what should you do? You should actually scale them to frame size or set them to frame size. Why is it so? As mentioned earlier, this video clips has been shot in 1920 by 1080p. Hence, it will be effectively 2 times larger than the sequence setting. So I'm going to set them to frame size. Right click, set to frame size. Now let's start on the trimming. First, we'll be using the selection tool. I'm going to demonstrate to you quickly how you can use the selection tool to do trimming. For example, here, as you can hear, the scrubbing can be quite annoying. You can actually mute the tracks. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to refine my cuts. I want to stop around here. So I can easily trim it shorter. Click on the second clip forward and I'll snap it close to it. Next, I'll define where do I want to refine this cut. Maybe I prefer to show them here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it and move it closer. And if you play back, I hope this will give you an idea how you can actually quickly trim a clip on the timeline. But however, this method is not as productive. Let me undo. Next, I'm going to introduce the Ripper Edit. If you click on it, there's 3 choices that you can choose from: Ripper Edit, Rolling Edit, and Rate scratch tool. Each tool has its own shortcut key. So Ripple Edit is B, Rolling Edit is N, Rate Scratch tool is R. Let's look back at the same clip again. If I decided to shorten this clip at this junction, what I need to do is to mouse over to the end of the clip. You'll notice that the bracket that's appearing is actually in yellow instead of red. If I were to drag the clip backwards, the program monitor will display the right clip on the right, the effective change of clip on the left. You'll notice that as I drag further, the clip has been moved backwards. Okay, so now I'm going to stop at this position. If once I release my mouse, you realize that actually the forward clip has been snapped to the first clip without you doing anything else. Let me demonstrate another one. This is the position that I like for the film continuation, or what we call cutting on action. I will drag this over here and I'll move all the way to here. You'll notice that now the left clip is in holding position. The right clip is actually moving forward. Once I stop here and I release, they'll snap in for me instantly. Let's play again. I hope this explains the effectiveness of the Ripple Edit tool. I encourage you to use this as this is really very helpful. Next one I'm going to introduce is the Rolling Edit tool. So basically, Rolling Edit tool is that they will move the forward clip and the backward clip together. So watch on screen again. If I were to mouse over here and drag to the right hand side, the first clip will be extended while the second clip will be trimmed. Okay, let's look again. If I were to drag to the left, the first clip will be trimmed while the second clip will have a new in point. Okay, next one I want to introduce is the Rate Scratch tool. What does it do? In fact, a Rate Scratch tool is meant for you to speed up the clip or to slow-mo the clip. So let me demonstrate. If I were to mouse over now, you'll notice that you will see a red bracket with a curly arrows. If I were to shorten the clip, effectively you'll notice the duration has changed. The initial position is 0. The clip has 24 seconds, 0.5 frames. If I were to drag to the left, you'll notice that the duration has changed to 13 seconds and 7 frames. And if I were to let go now, let's play again. The action has been fast forward. Okay, now I undo. What if I would to stretch the clip? You notice that from 27 seconds, it becomes 39 seconds. And if I were to play now, the movement of the video clip has been slowed down. This is something like your speed and duration, but you can see the effective change on the timeline. I hope this explains the 3 different tools. So now, how do we effectively make a cut as per what we envision? So let me quickly do a quick cut to demonstrate to you. So at the point when you are editing, usually you will have a storyboard with you because the frames itself will indicate how the movement will advance. So we should anticipate the action to cut it properly. So for this case, for example, if I were to start here, okay, if I were to play back now, it seems too long already, right? So the timing is off. So what I need to do is I need to define exactly which part I want it to start. Do note the girl in pitch top is actually showing the phone to the friend. So what I'm going to do is that before she starts showing, this is where I want to start. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shorten it. Okay, after I shorten it, or so-called I trim it, there's an empty space here. There are 2 ways for you to snap back to the start of the sequence. One is to select all the clip. Then you just need to move to the left. Or select the empty space here where the video track is and delete. They'll just snap it for you. So what I have done now is I have effect the change for my first clip. It seems a bit abrupt Okay, after she show, I want them to walk slightly further. So for this case, I would want to use the rolling edit tool. By pressing B, I can actually forward a little bit more to show that after they show, they are about to turn. Okay, once they are about to turn, I think that should be sufficient for me to cut on action. So once they turn, I want to hasten the way they walk. So how do I hasten it? So I need to envision where do I want to show them walking to. So for here, I am going to use the rolling edit again. I'm going to cut to the in point to here. So let's play back again. Okay, at least they are walking towards to a common ground. After walking, after that, I need to show the low angle of where they are walking. So as you can see here, it's a bit delay on the third clip. So what I'm going to do is I want to show the foot about to touch on the ground. So maybe somewhere around here. So I'm going to use the rolling edit again, cut to somewhere here. And if I were to play back, okay, so I got to time it in a way that it looks like it is a seamless cut. So I feel that when she's lifting her right foot up, this is quite good where I should actually cut it. So I'm going to trim the end point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refine the cut again. So perhaps the shoe should come in already. So I'm going to trim it a little bit and play back again. So what I'm going to do is, as the passageway is a bit long, can you imagine I have to wait until they walk all the way to the table? I'm going to cut it somewhere around here. Huh? So watch again. So once they walk past, somewhere around here, I'll stop the action. So I'm going to trim it over here. Then next is I need to have that film continuity. Where do they walk to? Okay, so remember this clip has been slowed down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click again. If you have slowed down in using the Red Scratch tool, you can always revert back the original speed through speed and duration. So I'm going to put back to 100%. So what I'm going to do is maybe I want to show them they have actually reached the destination. Okay, somewhere here. So I'm going to trim this clip. So I do not need to use the Ripple Edit for this case. So let's watch again. Seems a bit odd, so I'm going to extend a little bit. I think their walking is not so nice. Why don't I show them reaching the table? So I'm going to show it somewhere here. Extend. And I'm going to use a Ripple Edit now to trim it. Let's see again. Okay. So let's see the overall. Okay. So now with the music turned on, okay, I hope this simple exercise will give you an idea how you can quickly use the different tools to help you to achieve a good edit. Now it's your turn to practice, and I'll catch you next week.